Okay, let's cut to this. PlayStation randomly, out of nowhere, basically shared a tweet, and I guess a post on all their other accounts as well, like Instagram and whatever, you know, like the website probably, the PlayStation blog, I assume. I haven't even checked the PlayStation blog yet, so I don't know if there's anything there. But they shared an article that they themselves, I guess, prepared in advance, of course, with Wired. And here you go, it's called Exclusive, What to Expect from Sony's Next-Gen PlayStation. And it talks about quite a lot of details about what you should be expecting, and there's some really interesting stuff that they announced. Now, before we dive into that, I guess, it's, you know, I just pointed it out in the beginning of the stream, but I assume, plus that God of War theme, yeah, well, I don't want to make it too loud. I guess this is good volume, right? Or not? Is this too loud, or is it fine? The music. Otherwise, I'll put it lower. But yeah, I assume, I mean, it came out of nowhere. At the same time, it didn't, I said. For the reason that we know Microsoft, this E3, it's going to be Microsoft's time to shine, right? So Microsoft will be the only one actually hosting a conference out of the platform holders, I guess. I mean, Nintendo will do that, you know, what's it called? Nintendo Direct thing. PlayStation will do nothing. We know that for sure. So because this is Microsoft's moment to shine, we know for sure that they wanted to kick off the plans for the next generation. But I assume that Sony was like, nah, actually, we're not gonna let you kick off this talk about the next generation. We're still gonna do it ourselves. And Microsoft probably didn't see that coming either, that they would just do it randomly this way. So I think they once again caught Microsoft completely by surprise by already, you know, yeah, doing this. So I think it's very interesting to say the least. So let's actually get into it. I mean, I could read it, I guess, or we could just talk about the specifics. It's quite a long article, so... Well, I'll just read a bit, and then we'll just discuss it, like, part by part, right? Mark Cerny would like to get one thing out of the way right now. The video game console that Sony has spent the past 4 years building is no mere upgrade. So, okay, they've been working on it for 4 years, apparently, already. It's 2019 now, and later in the article it mentions that the first time they started asking developers, you know, about what they would want from a possible next console was in 2015. So it seems that 2015 is when they began working on the actual PlayStation, you know, plans for the PlayStation 5. I think they said with the PlayStation 4 originally that they also like started pretty much in like I think 2009 already. So the year that like Uncharted 2 came out, and basically the year that the PlayStation 3 started actually taking off, they were already planning out the PS4, and it seems like they've done the exact same thing here. But yeah, so Mark Cerny says it's no mere upgrade.
Everyone. I'm back.
Appreciate it, Live Customs.
Less than 3.
Less than 3, indeed. Love you too, Live Customs. You'd have good reasons for thinking otherwise. Sony and Microsoft both extended the current console generation via a mid-cycle refresh, with the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 spawning mini sequels. The One S, I guess that should be the One X, really, honestly, and the PS4 Pro. The One S is like literally the slim version, so that's not, they've always done that. So I assume this is supposed to be the One X, but yeah. The key question, Cerny says, is whether the console adds another layer to the sorts of experiences that you already have access to, or if it allows for fundamental changes in what a game can be. The answer in this case is the latter. It's why we're sitting here, secreted away in a conference room at Sony's headquarters in Foster City, California, where Cerny is finally detailing the inner workings of the as yet unnamed console that will replace the PS4. Anybody want to guess what the next console is going to be called? I'm going to guess PlayStation 5, but it's just a really random guess. I mean, you know, very, very likely it won't be, of course. Just kidding. Anyway, we gotta assume it's going to be called the PS5, of course. PlayStation 6. You know what? Because it's such a huge upgrade, let's just skip a generation, call it the PlayStation 6. Remember how last time with the PS4 we had all these like conversations about how, oh, in Japan the number 4 is like equal to death or whatever? Like, the way you pronounced 4 in Japanese is the same as you pronounce the word death in Japanese, so because of that they wouldn't want to call it the PS4 or whatever. We had all these stupid conversations back then, but it seemed like an actual valid like way of thinking back then. Most people were like, oh yeah, that sounds reasonable. When like in retrospect now you go like, No, of course it was gonna be called the PlayStation 4. What the fuck? What the fuck are we talking about? But yeah. Alright, so they're sitting in a secret room somewhere in California to talk about this. If history is any guide, it will eventually be dubbed the PlayStation 5. For now, Sony responds to that question and many others with an enigmatic smile. AKA the famous Mark Cerny creepy smile. I'm looking forward to the next generation. The next-gen console, as he refers to it repeatedly, won't be landing in stores anytime in 2019. Okay, confirmed. No 2019 release. That's pretty obvious, but it's bound to be 2020, I guess. A number of studios have been working on it, though, and Sony recently accelerated its deployment of dev kits so that game creators will have the time they need to adjust its capabilities. I'm gonna turn this music a bit lower because I feel like it's so... At least it's loud on my end, but yeah. Give us an enigmatic smile to show. Yeah, I won't bother with that Apex sound. Anyway. As he did with the PS4, Cerny acted as lead system architect for the coming system, integrating developers' wishes and his own gaming hopes into something that's much more revolution than evolution. I mean, they're hyping it up, but like, based on the article though, it is still, it's not revolution, it is evolution, but it's just a very significant evolution, I would say, from what I've been reading. I would still not call it revolution, though. But yeah, for the more than 90 million people who own PlayStation 4s, that's good news indeed. Sony's got a brand new box. A true generational shift tends to include a few foundational adjustments. A console's CPU and GPU have become more powerful, able to deliver previously unattainable graphical fidelity and visual effects. System memory increases in size and speed, and game files grow to match, necessitating larger downloads or higher capacity physical media like discs. PlayStation's next generation console ticks all those boxes, starting with an AMD chip at the heart of the device, so that's the CPU. Warning, some alphabet soup follows for people who don't know hardware. Granted, I'm not the best with hardware myself. I know the basic stuff. The CPU is based on the third generation of AMD's Ryzen line and contains 8 cores of the company's new 7nm Zen 2 microarchitecture. Alright. The GPU, a custom variant of Radeon's Navy family, will support ray tracing, a technique that models the travel of light to simulate complex interactions in 3D environments. While ray tracing is a staple of Hollywood visual effects and is beginning to worm its way into $10,000 high-end processors, no game console has been able to manage it yet. This is probably the most complicated paragraph in this whole article. I don't even really know much myself. Maybe we have some hardware experts in the chat who can translate it into language that most people can understand. But like, I mean, the whole AMD Ryzen CPUs have been like, I know they've been all the hype and people have been talking about them. Sound really, you know, yeah, sounds impressive. It's based on 3rd generation, which is not out yet, I think, right? So this is like literally new. Basically. I mean, I know with previous consoles, they used to have sometimes hardware that would already be a couple years old. Could still be the case here, I guess. I'm not sure. I'm not sure when this 3rd generation is actually dropping, but from what I quickly managed to look up in advance, this apparently has not dropped yet. So yeah, this is... but, you know, AMD works together with Sony to actually make the CPUs for the PlayStation, and they're always, like... They're based on the usual AMD processors that you can get for your PC as well, but they're still exclusive and different. You know, they collaborate with Sony to make one exclusively for the consoles. Ray tracing is real-time reflection. Yeah, so apparently, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I need to look up some footage, I guess, of ray tracing and what exactly it means. But... you know, again, apparently a $10,000 high-end processor is beginning to be able to handle it, or to do it, and no game console has been able to do it, and the PS5 will for the very first time. So, that sounds promising. Let me take a sip of my water, because I'm talking so freaking fast, it's ridiculous. Yeah, they explain it actually, they go over it now. Ray tracing's immediate benefits are largely visual, because it mimics the way light bounces from object to object in a scene. Reflective surfaces and refractions through glass or liquid can be rendered much more accurately, even in real time, leading to heightened realism. According to Cerny, the applications go beyond graphic implications. If you wanted to run tests to see if the player can hear certain audio sources or if the enemy can hear the player's footsteps,